while we were waiting in line, Eeyore comes over to me and he hands me a leaf. Sweetest thing in the world. Now, is this like the Vegas performers where you're going to sleep with them, you give them the leaf, or is that not? Oh no, I went too far. Too real. Family show. I apologize. Well, thank you, Eeyore. You're amazing. Why are you depressed? You're the best of all of these animals. You shouldn't be depressed. You're amazing. You're a wonderful human. I guess you're not a human, you're a donkey. And my son, Eeyore, I named him Eeyore. This is my son, Eeyore. I won't give him the leaf, he'll destroy it. Thank you, Eeyore. Oh, Eeyore just blew him a kiss.
Welcome to the unofficial Disney Tonight Show podcast.
You know what? I have to pee real quick.
Do you not want me to do the intro then?
Well, no.
I hope you mute while you're doing that. Oh my god. I hear peeing. I'm gonna know that. Please welcome my dear friend and your host, Mr. David Studebaker.
There it is, dressing up tonight. I got a Mickey Mouse tie. I've got the shirt that I stole off of a banker. This is exciting. I'm trying to get a job at Countrywide Financial, right? Or they still, no, they went under during the financial crisis. Subprime mortgages. Hello. Okay, so that was a fun clip with Eeyore that we just saw. We're gonna bring on Luke in just a second to dig in on the Eeyore experience, but that was my first time ever getting hit on by a Disney character, which was really an honor. But James, you are a former Vegas resident, and you worked for Siegfried and Roy. Did Siegfried and Roy ever try to put any moves on you like Eeyore did to me? Did you ever get the rose?
No, I got hit on by Gilda the elephant though, and she would hug me with her trunk. Because one of my jobs when I worked at the Mirage, this is real, behind the scenes, was to walk with the elephant trainer and the elephant after the show. So I'd walk them. So it'd be like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, and we'd walk this whole big loop and then walk her back to her pen and stuff and put her in for the night. But she would always put her trunk around me, like she was like, trying to get a little sweet. But the other thing that like we weren't supposed to, but I would bring apple or a carrot out of the employee dining room and
romantic,
sneak it to her. Yeah,
Wow. Hello.
So we had a good relationship.
Wise men say only fools rush in.
Now the other thing I had to do was
keep singing until James gets thoroughly uncomfortable.
I'm already uncomfortable. But the other thing that I had to do was also at the Mirage. They have a giant dolphin area. They have dolphins, and so it's like some kind of habitat and stuff, and they like do it to like
some kind of habitat. Out in Vegas, the dolphins, they just naturally swim over there, and it's this.
I would say like it's like
wonderful one of those, like habitat,
like those conservation habitat things where they like study them and help like breed dolphins or whatever. But the dolphins there are so used to like people and doing shows and stuff that they're kind of jerks. So at night they'll like splash you, or they'll make each other laugh by splashing or doing stupid stuff.
They're
like,
trying to escape their habitat.
No, I don't think so. But they'll throw their ball out of their like water area at you.
Yeah.
Make the other dolphins on the other side laugh. And I'm like, and you just hear them. They're such jerks. I hated when I had to go check.
Although actually, this was pretty good preparation for when you move to Hollywood, because you have the elephant making you romantically uncomfortable, and then you have dolphins humiliating you. That's pretty much Hollywood in a nutshell. That's perfect. Yeah. That I love it. That was great training. Yeah, that's funny. So Gilda, any other? I mean, what happened to Gilda? When your wife Crystal came along, was she like, sorry, you're gonna have to leave Gilda behind? You need a new job?
No. That just like I think she's still there, but I think they like wanted to move her to a preserve or something like that because they have a whole like it's called the Secret Garden of Siegfried and Roy, which sounds a little off-putting if you know Siegfried
Yeah,
and Roy.
right.
But
I don't want to go in that garden.
right,
I don't
yeah,
wanna,
no, yeah.
I don't want to
It's secret.
maintain that
What
garden.
happens in there stays in there.
Yeah.
But that's also where like all the tigers and stuff were. So at night we would have to like walk around there and stuff and make sure everything's okay. And at night, a place where they keep a bunch of giant jungle cats is not like the most
Yeah.
comfortable place in the world. You're like,
No,
I could be murdered at any second by
that
these
sounds
cats.
horrible. That
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I'm glad you made it out alive
That was cool.
on a lot of levels. And on that note, let's bring on Luke to corroborate the experience with Eeyore. There he is. There he is.
Welcome.
Hey.
So Luke, because I want you here to be my witness. Well, I'm not exaggerating when I say there were 35 people in line snaking all around this courtyard and area. We were in the middle. We were like as far away from the Eeyore picture area as you can be because we were in line to take a picture with Eeyore, Tigger, and Winnie the Pooh. They were all kind of in separate areas, but you go in one line.
Mm-hmm.
We were as far away from Eeyore as possible. Eeyore, I guess, takes a break to have a cigarette or, or drink some booze or whatever Eeyore does on his break. So Eeyore is walking away. As Eeyore is walking away, again, 30, 40 yards away from us, digs through the bushes, pulls out a leaf, then wades through a crowd of people, walks directly up to me, hands me the leaf, doesn't say anything. The handlers are there with him and walks away and goes on the break. What does that mean?
Well, on the Dumbo ride, they give you the feather. So maybe you just wanted to make it extra special for you.
They give you
I appreciate that. But I was thinking that two different things. I was thinking either A, it's what I said to Eeyore, which is in Vegas. That's a thing in some of the performers. If they give a rose to a human in the front row, that means that is the person they'd like to spend an evening with. Or it's like, this is the dumbest looking person, and whoever I give this to on the cameras, you guys in security, just roast this guy because I can't stand this person. Or actually, the third one is whoever I give this to, Disneyland police, throw him out. So those are the three options. But Eeyore was so nice and loving that I think it was number one. I think it was. What do you think, Luke?
Yeah, I think he may have wanted a tryst with you. I really do.
Family-friendly show. Family-friendly
tryst
show.
Just means a meeting. It doesn't mean
a meeting. Just bad. A meeting. A business meeting. That's
somewhere.
What you say. That's why I wore this outfit, because when I want to make a meeting, like if I'm talking to a studio or a director, I say, hey, if we could just set up a tryst to go over all of the details of the shoot, that would be great. That's normal to say. And that we are referring to, for our audience who were not in our pre-show production meeting, James felt as though the word tryst could mean almost anything. We disagreed. Moving on. So one thing I will say is I loved Matthew's reaction to Tigger, because Tigger was the first character we met, and super cool, a lot of fun, gotta love Tigger. But then I interacted with Tigger for the show, and then we brought Matthew on. And the whole time Matthew was just staring, because, he was like 9 months old, and there's this giant humanish tiger that's petting him. And so he just had the look. And then we caused a stir, because right after that, we had all the cast members marveling about my map shirt, which was a seminal moment in my life, because they see a lot of shirts and memorabilia. I was minding my own business. They accosted me. True honor. James is already bored. I can only imagine what Jake is doing off screen, how bored Jake must be right now. And then we should update. So there was a conversation with the amazing Myra in our last episode about Winnie the Pooh. And I did some research on Winnie the Pooh because one thing she mentioned, and I didn't know this, was that she said the city of Winnipeg in Canada was named after Winnie the Pooh. She may have just misspoke. What it's actually Winnie the Pooh was named after Winnipeg. So Luke, as our resident Canadian, how you didn't call that out in the moment, I don't know.
He's polite.
I'm worried.
I just
you
didn't want
know
to.
that?
I didn't want to ruin the magic for the kids, David.
There you go.
Thanks though for that. It's
So the real story. So and then the topic came up of Winnie the Pooh's gender. Now I never really thought. I didn't know that Winnie the Pooh was a boy or a girl. Myra thought girl. Here's the real story. Winnie the Pooh was based on a real bear that was rescued by an army veterinarian, and he named that female bear Winnipeg after the city. And then I guess the author, I guess, because that bear then ended up in a zoo down the road, and the author met the bear, and his kid loved it, and blah blah blah. Wrote the stories, but I guess the author did Edward, and then the Disney movies were like, we're just going to split the difference, put a shirt on with no bottom area, so and you don't see anything there, and the voice is very androgynous, and we're just going to let it be argued out on a podcast 60 years later.
No. Whoa. Donald Duck doesn't wear pants, okay? But
yeah, but his name's Donald.
Daisy wears a skirt and bloomers, so it only stands to reason that a male would just wear the shirt without pants. I'm just saying,
that is, I guess, with their animation style, that is consistent. I will give you that. However, Winnie,
right? But the original name of the bear was actually Edward Bear in the original poem.
We're talking Disney's, yeah.
No. And then when Disney bought the rights, it was still Winnie, and then but he renamed it later. So
yeah. So, but we're talking Disney, and so the tricky thing is the real bear, girl, books, boy, Disney. Straight down the middle, no one knows. It'll be a topic that for the next 100 years, people will be arguing about. And the algorithm will love it. So before we discuss another thing that happened to us on that fateful day at Galaxy's Edge, let's bring on the Galaxy's Edge expert, our resident Mandalorian. Hello there, Mando. Hey, with your, and you have a Winnie the Pooh doll, and I learned this. I didn't know that's called what is it? A Numi, a Noimi?
No, it's not one of those like tiny ones. He's like huge.
Okay, but is that But isn't that style what is it? Nuimi? What Nuimo?
I honestly don't know how to say it either. But they have.
I bet Jake.
So it is. So it is that. So you're just leaving me hanging. So because you're staring at me like you don't know what it is, and I'm floundering trying to say the name, and you're like, "Well, I'm just gonna act like that's not what it is. I'm just gonna stare."
No, I know what you're talking about, but he's not that thing.
He's not that. Okay.
No.
I don't know how I thought that.
Version.
Wasn't there a conversation about that, or you just
we
saw
did,
one
but it was
that you
with
wanted?
Kermit.
With Kermit, okay. I can't keep all your stuffed animals straight. You got a lot of stuffed animals.
I
do. Kind of hard a bounty hunter. That's why.
So your Winnie the Pooh is very fly. I love the outfit and your earrings. I'm not gonna not call them out this time. Fantastic earrings.
Thank you.
So Luke and I, we went on the very first weekend that Rise of the Resistance was open. And we were all excited. And then we found out they have a virtual queue. And unless you get a tent and you sleep there and you kick someone in the head to get in first into the park and then hit a button and win a lottery, you can't ride it. So we were there when we could have ridden Rise of the Resistance and we didn't. But at the end of a long day of shooting and running around, we did Smuggler's Run, which was fantastic because Luke has horrible motion sickness. And of all of the spots that he got, he got the pilot spot.
Oh
And
my
so, Luke, was I also like? Didn't you do like side to side, and I did up and down? Aren't there like two pilots?
Yeah, we were both pilots, and
Yeah.
we let down the whole crew that was with us.
It was
They
really
were
bad. They were like they were vets. Like they'd done it like 9 times, and so they were kind of just like sitting back, like, really, we got to deal with these guys. And I mean, I feel for Luke. Well, I feel for myself also, because the more Luke got sick, the worse his steering got, and the more kind of crazy the thing got. And we're running into stuff, and then I'm starting to get sick because this, and I'm just going up and down, up. Come on, let's get this going. So yeah, it was tough. It was tough.
Well, yeah, and then they're yelling at it because we don't know what to do. There's buttons all over. They're like warp speed. We're like, what?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's 28 buttons. I don't know. Yeah, it was not great. Although, and our wives, they ended up on theirs. They ended up in the back because we couldn't ride together because one group had to watch the baby. So they were in the back, and apparently they had a great time in back. They were loving it, and all they had to do was like just press one button, and they had people in front who were competent pilots and not you and I. And so, but I will say, Galaxy's Edge, great bathrooms.
Oh my
Like
gosh,
really
yeah.
fantastic bathrooms, a lot of selection. I rarely, like to I won't get too graphic, but I was sitting down, and it was clean. There were options. It was wonderful. Whereas that bathroom at Disneyland, like on the border of Main Street and Tomorrowland,
Oh yeah.
woo, you hit that bathroom at the wrong time. That is, okay. I'm going to quickly tell a story. I didn't mean to tell this, but that day when we were there, I had to go so bad. And there was a long line at that Fantasyland one, or not Fantasyland, but there was a long line at the Main Street Tomorrowland one. We're waiting, kids outside. I'm in a line. There's a clear line. I'm next to go in the line. A door opens, and this old dude just walks right in front of me. Now, if he had any sort of disabilities or problems, I would have accepted it. But just some big older dude walks right in front of me, looks at me, and then just walks right into the open stall that I was about to walk into.
Oh my god.
And then the smell that was emanating from there was so horrific. I'm like, I'll just wait till Thursday. I can't, like, that's enough. So,
I started yelling. I don't like cutters, man. That's like my big.
I
that's my
hate
big pet.
that.
I yelled at a lady at a Chick-fil-A drive-in the other day because she cut.
yeah, well,
Yeah, I don't
we
play
already
around.
know, James. If you
You
listen
play
to the
around with
last laugh
Chick-fil-A.
hour, you will understand that James does not mind yelling at anyone. So that is very true. Problem was, James, you would have to like break. Actually, I could see you breaking down the stall and just tossing him off the toilet. But he like swooped. I was so shocked initially. And then he like loudly locks the thing.
You shake
And
that
I'm
door
like-
until the thing breaks. Get out of here!
Except that the smell
I would've.
emanating,
I don't care.
I wouldn't want to get near that smell. So yeah,
I would've made
so
him sick.
Galaxy's Edge bathrooms, great bathrooms.
Yes.
Next time,
totally
James, I'll make sure you're there and you give me my bathroom bodyguard.
will.
and
I don't like
send
cut,
you.
dude, for real. I seriously do not like people that cut in front of other people. I cannot stand it. It's like the most disrespectful thing you can do to somebody.
When you're
Wait your turn.
on the freeway and there's the exit at LA freeways, if you don't know, what happens is for freeway exits, you'll get a line of
Talk
like
about the 405
900 cars, and then you get like a couple people just zooming by the 300, and then just like swooping in right in
I
front.
never let those
know.
people in. Never.
know.
I will pull. I'll let you hit my car because then afterwards we're gonna fight on the freeway.
I was just gonna say, with your love of fisticuffs and
Dude,
your
let's go.
lack of care about the car,
Let's
like,
go, bro.
they picked the wrong guy to. I could actually see you just stopping and blocking them so they
I've done
can't
that.
get in and they can't
done
get
that.
out.
Yep.
And then,
Done that. I can't stand. I mean, it's a respect thing. Everyone else waited patiently. Everyone else was kind. Everyone else followed the rules. You're gonna be a
Yeah.
jerk. Okay, cool. I'm gonna make you. I'm gonna punish you for it. You're gonna get it.
That's our show's enforcer, James Creviston.
Yeah.
Luke, what about you? Do you let that car in?
Yeah.
And actually, I do the same thing.
Oh,
I
wow.
block 'em.
Yes, Luke.
Oh my
The
god!
meanest Canadian.
This is a
Let's
Disney
go.
Tonight Show moment. We have found the tripwire for Luke. So okay, wow. Mando, do you let them in?
Well, I don't really
She's from
have this
Florida.
problem in Florida.
Yeah,
But no, I do not.
There's no traffic.
I do not let those people in.
She's like
I
the
hate
one
that.
car that's on the freeway.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny.
it's
But
the
if
gainer
I
she
do
has to
have
worry
a
about cutting her off.
situation- Yeah. I do not let those people in. I friggin' hate that too. I make them wait just like the rest of us.
That's the thing. Everyone else was kind and respectful and followed the order, followed the rules. You're not special. I don't care what your parents told you. You're
Exactly.
not special.
I will say I do sometimes let them in if they're confused, because sometimes you do get the ones where they don't get the exit and they're new in town, and then they're like you see, if I can see in their face that look in their eyes of, if I see that, I'm like, okay, I understand.
That's different
We've all
though.
been there.
We know what you're talking about. The guy who goes around everybody and then cuts over in his Mercedes and thinks that he's better than you, and he's got a personalized license plate and Beverly
Yeah.
Hills Mercedes frame
So
on there.
James
Now, forget
basically-
that guy.
James basically just judges it based on if they have a nicer car than him. That's great.
You know why? Because they won't hit your car with their nice car, but I'll hit you with my 14-year-old car. I don't
That
care.
is true. Whenever I'm
Yeah.
changing
War, baby.
lanes, I have a rule. Whenever I'm changing lanes, if they have a nicer car, I'll just go for it. And then, Mando, you had a much better Galaxy's Edge time than Luke and I in Walt Disney World, right?
I
That was
went before the quarantine, and I went after the quarantine, like during the quarantine or
That's
whatever,
what
in December. I go every December with my best friend, and he's the one who got my grandfather and him are the two people who got me into Star Wars. So it's like a tradition every December we go to
Nice.
Galaxy's Edge.
Did you ride Rise of the Resistance this year? Like
I
in
did.
December?
I rode Rise of the Resistance every single time I've
Good,
gone.
yeah.
I love that ride, and there's like a huge debate on whether Smuggler's Run is the better ride than Rise of the
Huge
Resistance.
debate. Who's debating that?
Yeah, who's debating that?
What?
Drunk
Everybody
people?
I
Drunk
know.
people?
Yeah.
I know everybody I know loves Smuggler's Run more than Rise of the Resistance, but I like Rise of the Resistance more. I feel like it's more of an experience.
Hold on. Well, I'm gonna bring on early. I'm gonna mess with the flow. Jake, get in here. Jake, get in here.
Uh-oh.
Technical difficulties. Jake, are you?
Hey!
Hey, Jake. So we're doing this a little early because have you ridden Rise of the Resistance?
The last time I went to Disneyland was, I think, January 7th, which was like a couple days before it opened.
Okay, well, I was gonna bring you on to settle the thing.
I'll go.
Get out of here.
No, you can stay. You can stay. I'm kidding. You can stay.
But both of you have also ridden Smuggler's Run. I cannot.
And I read it. It was a great book. It was one of my favorite books.
It was right after Ender's Game, Smuggler's Run.
Yeah.
Anyways, go. Anyways,
Yeah.
so you rode Smuggler's Run as well, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so how do you compare those two things, because
I
they're not even the same kind of
know.
ride? First of all,
No,
Exactly.
one's
honestly,
an arcade game. One's an
we're-
arcade game.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're not even gonna dignify that with a response. Just know, Mando, I don't know if those people watch this show. If they do, if you're watching right now, type in the YouTube comment box how on earth that's better. Just the YouTube videos I've seen of Rise of the Resistance were more fun than
It's
Smuggler's
so
Run.
much more
So-
Rise of the Resistance is
My
amazing.
I will say the other thing with Smuggler's Run, I would have enjoyed it a little bit more if it was Han Solo, if like you were doing like an original Star Wars trilogy run in it, or even like a spin-off or a prequel like Han just before it. But I mean, come on, there's like the story's not great, the graphics aren't even that great. You get sick afterwards. The queue's good. It was good queue.
I think they should have done it like Star Tours, where you get in and then like you
Yes.
see them ahead of you, like Han and Chewie ahead of you, and then they like, fly and you're there and you're like, doing this. That would have been cooler, right? Because
Yeah.
the fact that you have to control all the controls takes away from the enjoyment of the ride, because it feels like you're playing a video game, and
Yeah,
you
it's a
only
glorified
have
video
a
game.
certain amount of time to do it. So it's not like you get a redo over and over again where you can play it for like 30 minutes or an hour. It's like 6 minutes, and you're like, okay,
You know what it's like?
Exactly.
It's like Star Tours, except that you have to do work.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Yes.
It's like, hey, do you love getting car sick on Star Tours? Well, what if you could do that and you also had to run the ride? And then, poorly. It's poorly. So,
Yeah.
and then, man, wasn't there a point, because there were a lot of people, then there was a point where like it started raining and the whole place cleared out and you guys were the only ones who weren't afraid of rain.
It was like extremely busy all day. The wait was like crazy, but it was a weekend we went. But it just started pouring, and I looked at my best friend and I was like, I don't care, like we're staying, and everybody left. Every ride was a walk on. And
there's that mic hit. Way to go, Mando. We love the mic hit. What's our favorite thing?
It's Florida. Expect it to rain.
Exactly. But the best thing was that in Hollywood Studios, they have a new ride, which is Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. And that ride, it's so cute. And I haven't rode it, but I got to ride it this last time and it was packed. So I said to him, I was like, we'll probably go on it later. Or we won't go on it. And I was so disappointed. But when it rained, we just walked right on. We went on twice.
Yeah.
Which is like
amazing.
That ride's amazing.
And also, like, isn't that an indoor ride? Why would people not go on it?
Dude, if you go anywhere, if you're at any of the Disneylands when it rains, people scatter like cockroaches. They're like, where I was at Epcot, I'm in line to get like the food during Food and Wine. I love that. That's my favorite. I don't go for the wine, I go for the food. But I'm there, it's raining, everyone bolts out of the line. I'm like, oh, I guess I'm next, It's like, I'll take all the food. Let's go. Keep it coming, The best part of that is when you're in Florida and you're there and it starts to rain, everybody pulling the ponchos out of their bags for like the 3 minutes that it rains. And then they're like trying to figure out how to put it back in their bag without getting everything wet. And you're like, dude, just walk around wet. Like, who cares? You're in Florida.
Exactly.
You're already sweating through all that. Yeah.
Speaking of water, just quickly, and then we have some stuff to cover with Jake. Tell that grandpa story. Your tough New York grandfather, Italian New York grandfather.
My grandfather was born in Brooklyn. Like, to give some background on him, he was born in Brooklyn by a 100% Italian family. They were my family is from Brooklyn, so they have their neighbors are very close to them. And this guy next door to them, it was in the summertime, there was a sprinkler and it kept going over their fence into the yard, splashing, it was just terrible. So my grandfather, he's really nice at first. And he goes over to the neighbor's house and he's like, hey, the sprinkler's in our yard. Please move your sprinkler. The guy's like, oh, okay. Doesn't do it. So a week goes by. My grandfather does it again. He's like, hey, the sprinkler's becoming a problem. We can't even go into our backyard because you're spraying everybody with it. The guy's like, yeah, sure, I'll get to it. Never does it. So my grandfather had enough. And the true Italian came out in him. And the next night, during the night, he moved the sprinkler just perfectly so it went right into his open window into his bedroom. And
oh my God.
His whole bedroom. But guess what? The sprinkler never went over that fence again.
By the way,
my
Mando,
grandfather was like a Mandalorian before I was, so I'm taking his place.
It's in the blood. And Mando, I applaud you for telling that story so beautifully while James has a strobe light in his face.
I do. I have no idea what's going on.
What are you doing?
Everything went chaotic on my desk. I have no idea what's going on.
You're shouting into the mic. You are breaking our ears. What just happened?
I don't know. Everything flipped out on my desk. Literally, I just installed a new system and everything flipped out at once.
Strobe light. And I love Mando just kept on going. She was
good
like,
job. I was trying to keep quiet, and not really bring attention to it. I was just trying to all right.
Either that or Mando can't see. That one or the other. I can't.
You're gonna have to lower his volume in post when you edit this.
Yeah, no, it
sounds loud.
It is peaking like Mount Everest.
You know what's happening here. I'm sorry.
All
right. My bad.
Oh, that was beautiful. Well,
live people.
I know. On that note, we didn't have our dear Jake at our last episode. What was your impression of the episode? Did you enjoy the Myra interview?
I have two things to say before I comment. They have nothing to do with what you just asked.
Perfect. Thank you.
One,
Let me not answer you.
Nuimo. It's Nuimo.
Oh, thank you. Yes.
And
thank
two,
you.
I have a concrete answer on what Winnie the Pooh is. In the lyrics of the official Winnie the Pooh theme song, they call it a he. He's Winnie the Pooh.
Wow.
Because I was just going to Google it and say, what gender is Winnie the Pooh? But there's nothing more official than the official theme song. So
Now,
that takes care of that.
I think Mando commented on the Pooh name and like.
Oh, I commented on the Pooh.
Oh, you commented on the name, but you know why, right? You know why it's
No.
Pooh. So it's a game called Pooh Sticks, and what happens is it's not dirty, okay? Just so everyone knows, it's nothing. So what it is a game that kids play by rivers over a bridge. So you get a stick. Every kid gets a stick. They drop it over the side, and whoever stick goes back under the bridge and comes out first wins. It's like stick races in a river, but
And
it's
they
called
just call
Pooh
it Pooh?
Sticks.
Pooh
Called
stick?
Pooh Sticks.
'Cause
Pooh
it's like
Sticks.
poop floating in a river? Or
That's
what?
I don't know why it's
I
called.
don't understand.
What does that have to do with a bear?
I know. I tell you, Winnie the Pooh is a real rabbit hole.
Well,
I gotta say, it is.
because that story comes from the house at Pooh Corner, so it's based it's from a story and stuff. So all the names are from the story stuff that he took and wrote. So if you watch the live action movie that came out recently,
Christopher
Robin,
Yeah.
all that stuff is explained in the story and stuff.
Oh,
like that. And there's like a lot of information there. Yeah, it makes you cry. So I don't watch it, but you should.
Yeah, I was gonna say that doesn't seem like a James flick.
It's not a James movie.
Okay, so Jake, was that your way of saying you didn't enjoy the episode, or was
I loved it. I loved the part where she sang to you. She serenaded you guys near the
Beautiful.
end.
It was
I thought it was a good episode. I wish I was there.
I know it was.
Asking you shall receive.
Well, so here's one thing though. I think we have a little test for you, because there was a moment, even though we did miss you, we always miss you, but there was a moment in the episode where I was like, you know what? For Jake's sake, I think it's better that Alma was there instead. And that was for the Q&A question.
Randy asks, what is your favorite mariachi song to sing?
Because that was going to be your question to ask.
Oh, I'm so glad it wasn't, because everyone who is white pronounces it mariachi.
Yeah, there it is. There it is. So is that how you would? So just say the question. Randy asks, "What is your favorite mariachi song?"
What is your favorite mariachi song?
Oh yeah, there's the gringo. Can you say it one more time?
Mariachi.
Yeah, there it is. Oh, it's so wonderful. So and then,
hey, you like those mariachi songs?
Yeah. Randy asks, what's your favorite mariachi song? I think it's one thing, Jake, you do have something that is very, very cool. You did show and tell last time, but we're just going to give you show and tell again. Since it's the Eeyore theme, you have an Eeyore mug. Look at that. Oh, now that is classy.
Beautifully molded. Originally, there was a plant in it. Now there are pin backs for Disney pins.
Very nice.
And I put it with my pin book. It is perfect.
That is.
Can
look
you
at
do
that?
Can you do an Eeyore impersonation?
What does he sound like? He sounds like
Sounds like a depressed Bill Murray.
He says a lot of suicidal stuff. Now, I did see Christopher Robin in theaters, but I don't remember much about it, but I do remember that Eeyore was extra suicidal in that movie.
That took a very dark turn. Luke,
why is Eeyore depressed?
Because he doesn't have a tail, so he's like, I want my tail back. I thought that was the reason.
Oh, really?
No, he always
Like
has
his
a
tail's
tail.
missing.
I thought he has a tail with a bow tie on it, with like a,
It's
with like a
fake.
little.
No, it's
I
like,
thought he had like a real tail and then it got cut off or something, so
Oh
they
my
pinned
God.
a
They, like-
fake tail on it.
they put it like on, like, I don't know, they like pin it to his butt.
Yeah, and they
I
lose
tell
it
you,
all
Winnie
the
the
time.
Pooh. Winnie the Pooh has been quite a rabbit hole, and
Yeah,
I think part of it is each of the characters is like supposed to represent a different mental illness. So I feel like,
He's like, that wasn't a joke.
So I feel like we have stepped into the mental illness of that. Like it started out as just a real sweet bear that was rescued by some dude in Canada, and now it's come to represent mental illness. Speaking of mental illness, Luke, I'm just kidding. No, Luke.
Wow.
No, I'm kidding.
The internet actually says that Eeyore's. Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay, I can't even. This is terrible.
That's great radio, James. Thank
I'm
you, buddy.
sorry.
You've just been really nailing it tonight.
Jeez Louise.
Just
The internet's
spit it out.
mean about this whole thing. They said Eeyore suicidal, has depression or dysthymia disorder.
Easy for you to say.
I don't know how to say that.
It's a
Mariachi.
cartoon character.
We're ending on that note. Luke just gets the win for the whole episode. Let me just, before we end on that fantastic note, what's everyone's favorite Winnie the Pooh character? I'm scared even to ask at that point. But James, who's your favorite Winnie the Pooh character?
Tigger, come on, man.
Luke?
I just want to go on record, Myra. I never questioned your Winnie the Pooh knowledge. I'm with you 100%.
That is true. That is true. Luke is very kind.
But I just want to let Myra know that I believe anything she says. No questions
Very
asked.
true. And I also, despite the evidence saying that in the Disney version, Winnie the Pooh is a boy, I'm still fighting the good fight for the original bear. Myra, I was here for you. Jake and James were selling you out. Mando was
I like the truth.
quiet through this whole this whole interaction. So, Mando, your favorite Winnie the Pooh character?
The
Winnie the Pooh,
original
okay.
boy himself.
Oh boy, you're going boy.
Oh!
Oh no.
Mean it like that. I mean, I put earrings on him, so I'm kind of like in the girl category for him.
So
I mean, her.
Mando is thoroughly confused. Mando is as confused about Winnie the Pooh's gender as Winnie the Pooh is. So
Yeah,
I
he's
like that.
like-
That's correct. Because that's where I'm going. I'm going that Winnie the Pooh is some sort of
They are
asexual.
whatever they
them.
want
So-
to be.
Yeah.
Whoa,
Yeah.
So what is Piglet then? Because Piglet is the
Piglet's
opposite.
the
It's supposed to be
girl.
the opposite, right?
No,
Of Winnie the
Piglet's a
Pooh.
girl.
Yeah, so the opposite of Winnie the Pooh.
Oh. I never
Boy,
thought-
this has been a weird one. Luke, you didn't answer the question about.
Oh yeah, you did.
Oh, Eeyore, because he's a very inspirational role model for me. I take his messages to heart.
Jake, your
I feel him on an
choice.
emotional level.
Is it pretentious to go into the Winnie the Pooh lore and say that the Heffalump is my favorite
Oh,
Winnie
baller.
the Pooh character?
So, Jake, I was almost going to make fun of you that, of course, yours would be pretentious and intellectual and cooler than us. But you know what? That's a great one. And the music in the Heffalump movie is fantastic. So that's a great answer, Jake. And I rescind
Bravo, sir.
the about to make fun of you for being way cooler than us. And he's like this. Jake's like the show's bully. You know, James is like the bully. James is like the physical bully of the show. Jake is the intellectual bully of the show. You know, he's got to he wins all the arguments. He's got all of the little.
I got the Eeyore mug.
He's got the Eeyore mug. He's got the factoids. He beat James in that Marvel argument. It's really.
Draw. It was a
Speaking of
draw.
which,
I'm glad no one cares about my favorite Winnie the Pooh character. Thank you guys for asking. That's the end of the unofficial Disney
who is-
Tonight Show.
wait, no,
no one
who's your
cares
favorite?
about
Who's
your
your
Marvel
favorite?
characters. I'm gonna say Eeyore. Because I find Eeyore hilarious. I mean, that in this like kids kind of a show, you just have this like
clinically
unbelievably depressed character. It's just funny. And there may be some physical attraction towards me with Eeyore. So okay, well, this was the
And we were
weirdest
to the Mad Hatter
episode.
now. Now we're at the Mad Hatter.
Yeah, this has been the weirdest episode of the unofficial Disney Tonight Show. I love all of you guys. And if you enjoyed the weirdness, please subscribe on YouTube and Apple Podcasts and leave a review on Apple Podcasts and all the podcast apps and Instagram and the carrier pigeons. Send us some carrier pigeons. MySpace, love the MySpace. Definitely, we're big on MySpace. Number one on MySpace. So thank you guys. We are the unofficial Disney Tonight Show. See you soon. Can you say helicopter? Up. Are you shy and mumbly right now?
Oh, Emma.
Oh, look, it's Winnie the Pooh. She has Winnie the Pooh. Can you do Buzz Lightyear to the rescue? Good job, buddy. More? Okay.
Sounds more like the bad guy from Toy Story. What's
I know he mumbles. He like growls when he does Buzz Lightyear to the rescue.
Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah. You say Buzz Lightyear to the rescue.